Picture this. You grab a random lottery ticket down at the corner store, and boom, you hit the grand prize. It's literally the ultimate fantasy, right? Now imagine pulling that off 7 different times. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into 2 incredible strategies to win the lottery, pitting the ultimate dream against cold, hard data. And hey, if you want to really master this stuff by the end, you absolutely have to check out John Smith's book, How to Win the Lottery Like Richard Lustig. I'll put the link right down in the description for you. Now, let's look at the unbelievable true stories of people who completely shattered the laws of probability.
So, the million-dollar question we have to tackle right out of the gate is this. Can you actually beat the lottery system? I mean, do you believe it's mathematically possible to outsmart randomized probability and walk away with millions? Or is it just a crazy amount of luck? To separate the math from the myth, we're going to start with the most famous serial winner out there.
That number right there, 7, that is the exact amount of times a guy named Richard Lustig won major state-sponsored lottery grand prizes between 1993 and 2010. And we're not talking about a $10 scratcher here. Lustig wasn't some math prodigy or a computer scientist, you know? He was just a former drummer from Florida who somehow transformed into an absolute multi-million-dollar lottery legend. Seriously, you can read all about his incredible journey in John Smith's book, How to Win the Lottery Like Richard Lustig, which again is linked in the description below.
To really grasp his motivation, you just have to look at the sheer scale of these amazing windfalls. Back in 2002, he took down the Florida Mega Money Drawing for a staggering $842,000. That single win let him buy an amazing $80,000 sports car, a brand new motorcycle, and a gorgeous $350,000 custom home. I mean, the financial scale here is totally life-changing. So how on earth did he pull this off 7 times?
Well, he claimed to have a foolproof methodology, which is our first major strategy today. It's built on 3 core rules. First off, he absolutely despised quick picks, letting the computer choose your numbers. He called it the lazy way out. Second, he said you have to use the entire board. Most people just pick dates, so they get stuck between numbers 1 and 31. Spreading your numbers out means if you do hit, you're way less likely to share that massive jackpot. And third, you gotta reinvest your winnings. Win $10, you go buy $11 worth of tickets for the next draw. He treated playing the lottery like a highly rewarding full-time job.
And that brings us to his boldest claim. He repeated this in countless interviews. Luck has absolutely nothing to do with it. He was totally adamant that his success wasn't because he was born under a lucky star. He genuinely believed that intense discipline and rigid consistency were the sole reasons he was taking home those giant cardboard checks.
Now, let's look at the data side of things. Enter Dr. Mark Glickman, a statistics professor from Harvard University. Dr. Glickman points out a factual reality. Past winning numbers have absolutely zero mathematical impact on future draws. Lustig firmly believed quick picks gave you the worst odds, but mathematically speaking, quick picks actually have the exact same odds as the numbers you might research and agonize over for hours. This brilliantly illustrates the hard mathematical truth. Every single lottery draw is an isolated, independent event. Those bouncing ping pong balls inside the machine, they don't have memories. Whether you handpick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the computer spits out a totally random sequence, your impact on the overall probability of those exact numbers being drawn is identical. The foundational math of a random draw stays exactly the same.
So, how do we explain his unbelievable winning streak? The odds of winning the Florida Fantasy 5 Grand Prize twice, which Lustig actually did, are 1 in 142 million. The real secret behind his success wasn't necessarily a mystical number selection, it was volume. Lustig was a massive volume player. His real mathematical edge was his completely unwavering willingness to take his previous winnings and buy enormous amounts of new tickets. If you hold 1,000 tickets, you inherently have a phenomenally better shot at winning than the person holding just 1. It's a fascinating approach, and again, John Smith's book, How to Win the Lottery Like Richard Lustig, covers this brilliantly. Definitely check the description for that.
Let's put these astronomical odds into perspective for just a second, because it is so easy to lose sight of how big these numbers really are. 1 in 175 million. To give you an idea of how incredibly rare a single jackpot win truly is, statisticians note that you are actually more likely to give birth to identical quadruplets than you are to pick the exact winning Powerball numbers. The odds are just incredibly vast.
But what if you could do more than just play the odds? What if you could actually guarantee a win?
Let me introduce you to our second massive strategy today, spearheaded by a man named Stefan Mandl. If Richard Lustig won 7 times by playing high volume, Mandl doubled it. He won the lottery an astounding 14 times. And he didn't do it by relying on random luck. Mandl actually shifted the mathematical reality of the game itself in his favor. Let's look at exactly how he achieved the impossible. Mandl realized that in some lotteries the jackpot grew so amazingly large that it was actually higher than the total costs of buying every single possible ticket combination. So, step 1, he pooled money with a massive group of investors to form a syndicate. Step 2, he used a custom algorithm he called combinatorial condensation to systematically filter and print the exact tickets he needed. And step 3, he quite literally bought enough tickets to cover every possible outcome. He used this genius method to win $19,000 just to move his beautiful family to Australia, and eventually scaled it up to systematically buy out entire international lotteries.
The crazy part? Mandl's 14 wins were completely legally acquired at the time. It was a brilliant loophole. Now, eventually, the US government and lottery officials around the world did change the rules. They instituted bans on bulk purchasing and using computer-generated printed tickets to ensure nobody could replicate Mandl's specific syndicate hack again. However, there is a totally legal remnant of this mathematical strategy still used today, and it's called a lottery wheeling system. Instead of buying millions of tickets, you just play way smarter. Here's how it works. You pick a larger pool of numbers, say 20 numbers instead of the required 6. Normally, covering every single combination of those 20 numbers would mean buying over 38,000 tickets. But using the math of combinatorics, a wheeling system wonderfully optimizes your coverage. It ensures a specific win guarantee if your numbers are drawn, effectively turning those nearly 39,000 combinations into just 78 highly strategic tickets. It lowers your cost while systematically spreading your array for maximum benefit.
With wheeling systems, syndicates, and high-volume play, there are some incredible insider secrets to maximizing this game. Whether we are talking to starry-eyed dreamers like Lustig or pragmatic statisticians at Harvard, they all agree on some ultimate golden rules to make the absolute most of your windfall. First, play smart by using a dedicated entertainment budget so your wins feel like pure profit. Second, set a realistic game plan and stick to it with total discipline. And finally, when the impossible does happen and you hit it big, hire an accountant immediately. You want a pro on your side to help you smartly manage and invest all those beautiful millions so your incredible new lifestyle lasts forever.
So we've broken down the legends, the brilliant hacks, and the hard data behind these two amazing strategies. The scale of the game is absolutely enormous. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Does knowing the cold hard statistics actually change anything for you? Or is the sheer, exhilarating human desire to chase a life-changing dream always going to outshine the mathematical reality? I highly recommend diving even deeper into this by grabbing John Smith's How to Win the Lottery Like Richard Lustig in the description below. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep dreaming big, play smart, and I'll see you next time.